Shalom, Mishpah, Shalom. All right, family. I ran across this video by this gentleman, Dr. Brown, and the name of this video is called "Were the Ancient Israelites Black?" So what I'm going to do, family, is I'm going to go through this video and I'm going to break it down and give you the records and the information to really edify who are the biblical Israelites. You know, when we mentioned that the Israelites were so-called black, you know, or melanated people, it's all kind of excuses or reactions we come up with. You know, and this gentleman is no different than the rest of the powers that be. So anyway, family, so we're gonna go through this lesson and hopefully we can get some edification. So let me start off by, first of all, giving all glory and honor to the Heavenly Father, Yahawah, and to His Son, Yahweh Shai. So let's start the video, family.
There's an increasing movement in the African American community today called the Black Hebrew or Black Hebrew Israelite movement. They claim.
Okay, so let's deal with that African American part first. There's no such thing as African American, number one. You know, and if you ask these people what part of Africa you come from, they couldn't tell you, or if they did tell you, it'll connect the dots to who we really are according to, you know, historical documents and records, and also biblical information. So let's put that aside right there, right fast. But anyway, you know, dealing with that African American term, you know, as long as we allow these people to keep naming us, that's what they're gonna do. They're going to name us everything outside of our God-given name. So anyway, let's move on, family.
Claims that the original Israelites, therefore the original Jews, were black, and that today's Jews are not really Jews.
Okay. Now, that claim, you know, we're not claiming, we're stating a fact. Not only that, family, but let me show you guys something. The Iron Curtain Over America, written by John Beatty. Arthur Kessler's The 13th Tribe, right? Israeli's $5 trillion Secret by Colonel Curtis B. Dole, right? The International Jew by Henry Ford. You know, all those books, family, all those gentlemen said the same thing, that those Jews over there in the land were not the people of that land. They're not the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But now, what's sad, family, is that they'll tell you that those people are not the Jews, but they will not tell you who are the Jews. But make no mistake, if they know that these people are not the Jews, they know who the real Jews are. But if they tell you that you're the Jews, that means they have to give you the substance that's promised to you, and these people will not do that. You know, we'll get our substance in the second Exodus, but that's a whole nother subject. Let's move forward.
There are differences among their beliefs. Some say that the white man is the manifestation of Satan.
Okay, dealing with the ideologies, you know, that's no different than, you know, the Christians. You know, they have Baptist, Methodist, Presbyterian, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist, Protestant, you know, Lutheran, you name it. And you know, some of these people believe in the dietary law. Some people believe that the laws are done away with. Some of these people believe in immaculate conception. Some of them don't believe in immaculate conception. Some believe in keeping the real Shabbat. Some go to church on Sunday. So that's a different ideology. That has nothing to do with nationality. Let's look at America, for example. You have Republican, Democrat. You have even independent. You have right-wing, left-wing. You have conservative. You have liberal. I mean, your ideology does not define your nationality. Your nationality is the lineage that you come from of dealing with your forefathers. So again, family, we can't get caught up in those deceptive tactics.
Some say that Jesus is the Messiah. So you've got a wide range of beliefs, but they have this in common, that it is the black man who is the original Hebrew or Israelite. They'll point to verses like Song of Solomon, the first chapter, where the woman speaking there says, I am black but beautiful, using the Hebrew word shachor.
Okay, let's deal with that, family. You see how it says, I am black but lovely, daughters of Jerusalem, like the tents of Kedar, like the curtains of Solomon. So we're gonna read this and get some edification, family. Let's go to the Songs of Solomon and start at verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon. So Solomon wrote this, family. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Family, this is a metaphor. It's a metaphorically speaking, family. And once you start understanding these metaphors or these similitudes, you begin to start to see that the Most High, He always compared the daughters of Zion. Let's get it. Matter of fact, let's get it. Instead of me telling you, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's go to Jeremiah. Y'all got to excuse me, family. I'm working with one hand. Let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah 6 and 1. And it says, I liken the daughters of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. So it's the description. It wasn't a woman that wrote it. It was Solomon wrote that. But again, family, these are the tactics that these people use. Let's go back to it. Let's go back to Psalms of Solomon. So let's go to verse 5, because he mentioned verse 5. Let the camera focus. I am black but comely. The word comely means beautiful, right, family? The word comely means beautiful. You find it ironic that there's a certain group of people that refer themselves as I'm black and beautiful as a term of endearment. Well, we're going to edify this even more so, okay? He says, ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. So let's go to that. We're going to go to the Strong's Concordance, right? Because that number, Shakar, would be 7838 Shakar, right? Which is from 7835, black, right? So you see 7835, 7836, right? So when we go to 7835, you see it's 7835. Okay, manner of black. To be black of skin. So again, that's what the book says, to be black of skin. But he didn't point that out because again, he has an agenda, family. This is what these people do. They have an agenda. Okay, so let's go back. You see right here where it says, don't stare at me because I am swarthy. We're going to deal with that word swarthy later on. I'm going to deal with that word swarthy later on because that means black. For the sun has burnt me. Okay, so let's let him play on further.
What's interesting there is that the next verse says, I've been darkened by the sun. In other words, my skin is dark because I've been darkened by the sun, not because I have black skin.
Well, first of all, for family, the sun, so-called black people, they get darker in the sun. So-called white people, they turn to red. Okay, like this right here, this screen, right? The edge of the screen is white. His skin is not white. Just like this here, this computer, the walls of this computer is black. Now I'm considered to be black, but look at my finger. I'm a brown. I'm a brown with a reddish hue. But they call me black. But am I black? So again, family, we have to go. We have to get past the lies. That's why we have to study.
What's also interesting is a verse like Lamentations 4 that says your leaders, your nobles were white. They were pure like milk, like snow. And it doesn't seem to be speaking about just their inside character being pure, because later in the verse it says that they're ruddy. It'd be like red-haired.
Okay, so let's go to Lamentations. Let's deal with that right fast. Lamentations, right? 4 and he mentioned verse 7, okay? Her Nazarites, hold on, let me say it. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy than the body that rubies. Okay, and rubies are red, family. So anyway, their polishing was as sapphire. But you notice he didn't mention the next verse. Their visage is blacker than a coal. Let's go get that right fast. Their visage, right? Visage. And that goes to the face, usually with reference to the shape, features, expressions, etc., continents, aspect, appearance. So the appearance was blacker than the coal. Remember, like I said, family, the Bible is written in similitudes and metaphors. You know what I'm saying? But you have to understand where and when how to use those similitudes or those metaphors by going to get precepts to edify. So let's look at it again. You know, see, he overlooked the next verse. You know, and this is a lot of their tactics. You know, they don't want to read above the next verse beneath, a few verses beneath, because it's going to shine a light on what they're doing. You know, but anyway, let's move further. Let's move further, family. I'm trying to make this within a certain time frame, but anyway, let's go forward.
Reddish skin, ruddy. Again, that doesn't speak naturally of someone that would be an African. And let's also remember that when Moses married an Ethiopian woman, according to Numbers, the 12th chapter, there was controversy in the family over it. Ethiopians were black. Ethiopians,
okay, let's deal with that Ethiopians, right? Okay, now, family, I'm doing some research on it, and you know, so I'm gonna put this out here right now. You know, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong on this part that I'm about to explain to y'all, you know, I have no problem with coming back and you know, apologizing for my wrongs. But you know, these people have done many mistranslations and look like dealing in the ancient language that Moses married a woman from a lesser status than married an Ethiopian woman. Now, again, like I say, and I'm going to break down the lesson later on. Just give me time, be patient, and to explain it. And we'll go to some scripture to explain why I also say what I say. Because remember, Moses did what, family? Moses gave the law. So if Moses gave the law, we ought to be able to go to the law. We should be able to go to the law, right? And let's go see what the law says. Okay, let's go to Deuteronomy 7, right? And let's start off at 1. When Yahawah thy Elohim bring thee into the land, which land whether thou shalt go to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Gergesites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Jebusites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations seven nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahawah thy Elohim shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them, neither shalt thou make marriage with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto thy sons, nor his daughters shall thou take to thy sons. So that's the law that Moses gave to the children of Israel. So that's why there was arguing. It had nothing to do with the fact that the lady was of Ethiopian. But let's use that premise anyway. Let's use that premise. But let me break this down. Let's get another scripture to edify that, because you have to 2 or more witnesses shall the truth be established, and then we're going to edify this even further, right? So let's go to Tobit 4 and verse 12. Beware, my son, of every kind of fornication. First of all, marry a woman from among the descendants of your ancestors. Do not marry a foreign woman who is not of your father's tribe. For we are the descendants of the prophets. Remember, my son, that Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, our ancestors of old, all took wives from among their kindred. So So again, that's just edifying that. But anyway, let's deal with that aspect that Moses married an Ethiopian woman. Okay, let's just say that's the case. Even with that, Moses was a Levite, so that means those children would be Levites. So the Ethiopians would be Levites, because guess what? They would those descendants, those children that came from his sons, would have that royal bloodline. So that even kills that. But let's edify that even more. So let's go to Numbers, because he mentioned Numbers. Let's get the law of Numbers. See, this is what we're supposed to be doing, family. We're supposed to be going into the records and getting the records and breaking it down, because you notice he didn't crack the Bible open not one time. Look at Numbers, right? 1 and 1. And Yahawah spoken to Moses, Salakia, in the wilderness of Sinai, in the tabernacle of the congregation on the first day of the second month in the second year after they were come out of the land of Egypt, saying, let's jump down to 17. And Moses and Aaron took those men which are expressed by their names, talking about these men right here, right? All the brothers, right? And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigree after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the name, from 20 years old and upward by the poll. So that kills that doctrine right there, family. So those children from Moses would be Levites. And if the woman was an Ethiopian woman, that means those children would be Levites. And they would be black people. So that kills that, because all we know, all the Ethiopians over there are what? So-called black people.
In Hebrew, they were black. As for everything we know about Moses and his ancestors, they go back not to Africa, they go back to Mesopotamia, the Babylonians, the Assyrians. These are Middle Eastern people, like the Iraqi people today. Their skin would be darker than mine as a Caucasian, but lighter than the skin of a black man. As Billy Graham once said as he was speaking to a black crowd.
Okay, so let's deal with that, family. First of all, there's no such thing as a Middle East. That's a new term coined by these people within the late 1800s. Prior to that, it was called either Northeast Africa or Asia Minor. So let's put that out there right fast.
He said to them, Jesus was lighter than you and darker than me. Oh, there was certainly some black blood in Israelite history.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Listen.
Black blood in Israelite history.
One more time.
No question about that. I don't dispute that. But were the Israelites some black blood in Israelite history? No question about that. I don't dispute that. But were the Israelites as a whole black? Certainly not.
So he's gonna say that there was black blood in the Israelites' history, but as a whole they were not black. You find it ironic in history. These people used to say if you had any black blood in you, you would be considered black. So again, it's these people use this stuff interchangeable when it's to benefit them. You know what I'm saying? It just man, it's amazing.
They were Middle Eastern, and that's all.
Like I said, family, remember there's no such thing as a Middle East. This is a new phrase that they just coined. Those people in the Middle East, they don't call themselves Middle Eastern. They call themselves by their nationality, by the land, by their culture, by their heritage, by their descendants. You're not going to walk up to an Iraqi and you're going to say, well, hey, man, I'm Middle Eastern. You're going to say he's an Iraqi. He's from Iraq. Again, the Lige family.
Also clear from what we call the iconography. When you look at the places from whence Israel came in its earliest origins, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the patriarchs, when you look at inscriptions and things from their old homelands, you see that the peoples there are Middle Eastern people. And remember, the children of Israel were in Egypt, all right? But they were not Africans themselves. They were slaves in Egypt, and they came out of Egypt. And even
so let's deal with that. Like you said, he said the children of Israel were slaves in Egypt, which we know the scriptures tells us that. Now, let's go to this book right here, family. The Black Image and the White Mind, the debate on Afro-American characters and destiny, 1817 to 1914 by George M. Fredrickson. Let's go to page 74, family. Page 74, right? Start off at the bottom right here. Okay. In the 1840s, Morton collaborated with George Earl Gildan, an Egyptologist who provided him with mummy heads and information about the racial significance of the Egyptian tombs and inscriptions. In Cranial Egypticus, published in 1844, Morton pointed out that both cranial and archaeological evidence showed that the Egyptians were not Negroes as abolitionists and colonists had mentioned, and that in fact blacks had been relegated to the same servile position in ancient Egypt as in modern America. So this gentleman saying that the Negroes were in ancient Egypt in slavery and in modern day America, which is again fulfilling prophecy, which were the children of Israel. Now let's go here. Let's go to the Zandervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Let's go to Ham. Ham. Okay. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites. So here there's another scholar, more scholars saying that the Negroes, right, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites were Hamitic people. So that leaves 2 sons left, Shem and Japhet. So the Negroes cannot be Hamitic, they can only be Shemitic or Japhetic. So let's move forward.
In Egypt, most of the people are not black. You had the Nubians who were black. Most of the people would be darker, Middle Eastern.
Let's repeat that again.
The people are not black. You had the Nubians who were black. Most of the people would be darker, Middle Eastern people.
Let's get that one more time.
The people are not black. You had the Nubians who were black. Most of the people would be darker, Middle Eastern people.
So
the last thing, though, is...
So how he says that the people would not be black, but the Nubians are black, but, dealing with the Middle Easterns. You know why he say that, family? Because those people that are over there in most of those lands in the so-called Middle East right now are Ottoman Turks. So they'll tell you some truth without give you all the information, but they, like I say, but a little truth is just still a lie. So let's move forward.
This. The black Hebrew Israelites will say, we are the original Jews. We are the true Jews because only the curses of Deuteronomy 28, they can only apply to us, the curses for disobedience to the Torah, they can only apply to us. Only we have suffered those things and gone in ships to be slaves. Actually, it's a kind of a strange teaching, isn't it? It's got to be us because no one's disobeyed more than us, and that's why we've been cursed. That's kind of a strange teaching. What's
sad, family, is the scripture says that Israel is a stiff-necked people. You know what I'm saying? So and it says that to identify the children of Israel, we need to look at the curses. And so let's go to Daniel. Let's go to Daniel 9 and 11. It says, ye all Israel have transgressed thy law by even departing, that thou might not obey the voice. Therefore, the curses are poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of Allahayim, because we have sinned against him, and he hath confirmed his word, which he spoke against us and against our judges that judge us, by bringing upon us a great evil. For under the whole heaven hath not been done as had been done upon Jerusalem. So Moses wrote the first 5 books. Moses wrote the first 5 books, right, family? So let's go to Deuteronomy 28, because he mentioned Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? So let's go to Deuteronomy 28, and let's go to 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and take over thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearken. Remember what I said? The Most High said we are stiff-necked people. Hearken not unto the voice which we just read in Daniel of Yahawah thy Elohim, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Now here it is, family. The book is telling you how to identify the children of Israel, but when you use these, that's really strange. It says why would people use that doctrine is basically what he's saying. If you believe in the book, you're gonna look at to see who fits the characteristics of what the Bible said that should fall upon the children of Israel. But that's just to hide the fact that the people that's over there don't fit none of the characteristics. This is the evilness, and this is why, brothers, this is called these people the devil. Because that's what the devil do. They deceive. The word devil means to deceive. Let's get some more. Let's move further.
Also strange is that I didn't hear any black Hebrew Israelites in Nazi Germany saying, hey, we're the real Jews.
Listen.
What's also strange is that I didn't hear any black Hebrew Israelites in Nazi Germany saying, hey, we're the real Jews.
Let's listen again.
What's also strange is that I didn't hear any black Hebrew Israelites in Nazi Germany saying, hey, we're the real Jews.
So he's admitting that there was some black Jews, Hebrew Israelites in Nazi Germany. So let's do this, family. Let's go to the Nazis, right? Time Life magazine, the Nazis, right? We're going to go to page 32, right? And let's read what it says. In one segment of a Nazi instrumental film, the genetic heritage of the Jew is purportedly traced to the Oriental Negro near Asia. Remember I told you people they called that region Asia Minor? So that's what it's saying. Near Asia, Asia Minor, and Hamitic people. Remember some of our forefathers, they married strange women. They married women from that region, family. So again, but we're not Hamitic, we're Shemitic, right? We just got to other outside sources that say we're not from the seed of Ham, we're not Egyptian. So anyway, let's read further. Hence, the film concludes that the Jews is a bastard. These people are not the biblical Israelites. They are not. That's why Jews, whatever that is a bastard. Letting you know that these people are not. This is why the war was really fought, family. This is what they don't want to tell you. They want to make Hitler, a crazy man. He's a lunatic. But this man knew that the so-called Jews over there in the land were not the Jews. They were not the biblical Israelites. Now, let's get another source. Remember, like I say, but two or more witnesses shall the truth be established. And he already said that there were black Jews over there in Germany. That's what he said. Matter of fact, let's get it one more again. Let's do it one more time, family. Because we want to show how this is why they call these people the devil. So that's a devilish tactic to lie like that.
I didn't hear any black Hebrew Israelites in Nazi Germany saying, hey, we're the real Jews, kill us.
I didn't hear any so-called black Jews in Nazi Germany. So he's admitting. So let's go here, family. Let's go here. Let's read that. As a new voyage to Italy with curious observation on several other countries. This book was written in the 1739, I think. I can't remember, family. But anyway, on page 139, right, we're going to start about right here, family. We'll start about right there. Okay. But 'tis ridiculous to imagine that the Jews, as being Jews, have a peculiar smell. The Jews at Rome are very poor. Now, I mentioned the Jews at Rome. Let's go get a book to edify that even more so, family. This is From Babylon to Timbuktu by Rudolph R. Windsor, right? Let's go to page 84. Salakia. Let's go to page 84 and let's make common sense of that, right? In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governance of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it had been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. So, if they was fleeing Roman persecution, wouldn't it make sense that Rome captured some of them and brought them to Rome as slaves? So that's why these Jews was in Rome. So let's move further, family. Let's edify this even more so. Let me find where I left off at. Oh, shucks. The page changed. Sorry about that, family. Okay. The Jews at Rome were very poor. Those who are poor are always nasty, and those who are nasty usually stink. That is the mystery, right? 'Tis also a vulgar error that the Jews are all black, for this is only true of the Portuguese Jews, right? So these Jews, so the Ashkenazi Jews say they came from Portugal. So this here book says from the 1700s said all the Jews were black. Okay, who marrying always among one another, begot children like themselves, and consequently the swarthiness. Remember we saw that word earlier at the beginning of the video, swarthy, meaning black. So let's start over. Okay, begot children like themselves, and consequently the blackness of their complexion is entailed upon their whole race, even in the northern region. But the Jews who are originally of Germany, now it makes sense what Hitler is saying. It makes sense what Hitler was saying, right? Because this book tells you that the Jews originally from Germany. So when people got there, they were already there, right? And this is why it makes sense what they say Hitler, say that, hey, you want to be black, so I'm going to throw you in the oven. And I'm not saying he said it. It's just rumored that he said it. But anyway, it would make sense now. Let's get it again. But the Jews who are originally of Germany, okay, those, for example, I have seen at Prague, are not blacker than the rest of their countrymen. So it's telling you, family, all the Jews are black. Now, the sad thing about all this, family, is if I can find this information, with limited resources, this gentleman, let's go back. I want you to look at all the books this gentleman got behind him. Look at all those encyclopedias and stuff like that. It would be hard for me to imagine that this gentleman, at some time or another, either heard this information or he has first-hand information and he just don't want to put the truth out there. Now, again, I can't prove that, but listening to the things he has said, he mentioned himself that there were black Israelite Jews in Germany. He said it out of his own mouth. So that makes me believe he have ran across this information before. So with that being said, family, as usual, peace, love, shalom.